Good evening, and happy November 7th. I'm Steve Carver, visiting with you from my home network in Dunn, North Carolina, and we are in the process of beginning a webinar about pivotal points in business. The class is called Red Flags, and what this is all about is helping entrepreneurs recognize important things that are going on around them that if you've had a lack of experience, there's no way you can kind of understand how important they are. So this series of 5 classes is about really enhancing small business ownership skills to a new level, a higher level than is normally done in the core webinars that I teach in 14-hour courses. So this is a 10-hour course aimed strictly at taking what you know already and adding to that to add to your business savvy. This is my presentation number 1147, and I certainly appreciate you joining me on my journey in entrepreneurship and letting me join you as well. I am not a lawyer or a CPA, just a fellow that's been in business and stays in business right through today with people all over the United States. 60-some years, I've made tons of mistakes and done a lot right too, because we're still here, and I'm glad to be able to share those things with you. One of the things that I always share with folks is go ahead and get a second or third opinion. Don't try to just figure this out right by yourself, because there are plenty of people that will help you with small business decisions, and one of the best places to find that help is at your small business center. We're sponsored tonight by the James Sprunk Community College in Kenansville in Warsaw. Joy Wynn is our director, and she is a wonderful director and does a great job. And you can give her a call at 910-659-6008, and she'll be glad to talk with you, invite you to come and have an appointment, or go meet you at your business and see what's going on. Joy is very aggressive and will help you any way that she can. We're also blessed to have Lynn Murphy helping us. Her phone number is 910-659-6000. She's there at the branch at Warsaw on Penny Branch Road, and she can help you with information, set up appointments, and send data to you, or serve as a liaison between you and I, and of course you and Lynn. You will get a survey form after our presentation tonight, and I'd like for you to really try to take the 60 seconds to open that up and fill it out. They need these surveys to come back so that they can hear from you on what classes that you want or that you need, and it'll take you just a short period of time and really help them out. So please fill that survey form out and send it back in. If you registered in advance, Joy has probably already sent you some handouts or study guides, as we call them, by email. And they're kind of important in this series, and I'd like for you to plan to save them in a different file. Just call it your business journal file, because all of these will come back and help you one day. This is good information, and the first ones, each week you'll get one that starts out with a number like this, 1147. That's the main one with the talking points that we'll talk about tonight. So if you like to print a handout out and use it as we're giving our webinar to make notes on or follow along, that would be the best one to do. The other items are quite helpful as well. You are eligible in this series of 5 courses to win certificates. We have really nice certificates, and I'm glad to print up, personalized for you, and send them to you. 3 different certificates are available with this course. One is just an achievement certificate for finishing the course. That means you attended all the classes. Maybe you didn't do any homework at all, and that's just fine, but you just chose to attend and take it in. And we're glad to send you an achievement certificate for that. But you do need to attend all the classes. and I'll give you some options on how to make up classes in case you have to miss some. We also have the Academy of Entrepreneurs and Associates, which I founded a number of years ago. And to win that membership to the Academy and become an associate member, you'll need to attend all the classes, complete a quiz, and do all of the homework assignments. And these homework assignments are not really tough. We'll talk about them later, but for that certificate, you'll need to do all those challenges, do 5 of the 8 challenges. And then another certificate's available. We call it the Extra Mile, and that is when you do all the homework challenges and maybe even turn in some extra work that you'd like to do. So we really want y'all to win these certificates and look forward to fixing them for you. One of them is related to your mission, vision, and promise statements for your business. They are very, very important. They go a long way. If you've already done it in your business, you can just send me a copy of what you have. But if you haven't got a mission, vision, and promise statement, I really would like for you to do it. What it does, it really helps you focus in on what you plan to do as an individual and put it in writing, and what you want your business to accomplish for you, your customers, and your community. When you have it in writing, then you're able to share it with the world and make a personal commitment. And when your new potential customers are thinking about doing business with you and see that mission, vision, promise statement, it automatically relieves them of some anxieties about doing business with somebody they don't know, because you're putting it out there in writing, and that takes some courage. It made a major difference for me after teaching this for 15, 16 years about the need for having these statements. I actually did them for myself about 3 years ago, and it's made a major, major difference in the way I'm conducting my business and feel about the business. This 5-part series, we're calling it Enhancing Business Management Skills for More Profit and Less Stress. In other words, it's a step up to enhance. And this particular thing we're talking about tonight are pivotal points in business. And I'll teach you tonight, and I hope you can absorb it, that there are 3 major points that we need to kind of have built into our DNA that we're always looking out for. Earning points, talking about money, earning points. Learning points about how our knowledge is progressing, and turning points, that is, other factors that means we may need to make a decision and maybe change the direction of our business. Earning, learning, and turning points. And so we'll be talking about those tonight. Getting started into the series as a whole, though, mindset will be a major factor throughout all these lessons. If you've got a mindset that is tending to hold you back, I really can't do a lot for you. And the sheer fact that you're here indicates that you do not have that type of mindset, because you're trying to grow your business and your thinking. And that's what we want, a growth mindset. And to do that, to keep that growth mindset going on, all of us as friends and associates and doing business and talking with each other now and in the future, we need to have a good radar. Our radar system needs to be well functioning. And the best way to get your radar system functioning better is to use it, and use it a lot. So we'll be talking about the radar system a little bit longer. I like to remind folks that have been in business a while or are trying to move up to the next step that things will get rough sometimes. The road can get quite bumpy. Even if you've been in business 64 years like I have, or maybe 64 days. But there are some times that come along that the road gets really bumpy. And I like to remind you, sometimes it just really helps to keep this mindset, look in the mirror, and just tell your own face that you have options. You do have options. And you got the option to back up or back off, to turn loose and let it go. Or you've also got the options to hold on and start pushing forward. Be grateful and be thankful. Hold on tight. Mainly holding on to your values. Even in tough times, sometimes it's our values and our indestructible fortitude that helps us get through it. And we'll talk about that some through this series to try to help you hang on to those values. Know what a trusted soul is. Know what a friend is who will help you and try to encourage you. Those are the kind of friends that we need for the same times. And mainly, even when the road is bumpy, if you take a minute to look in the mirror, to be still and know, as I like to say, plan for your own empowerment. You can empower yourself with planning, and this series hopefully will give you some good ways to go about that. So tonight we're going to be talking about those points, turning points, and learning points. Next week we're going to talk about cash flow, and we'll dive deep into how to go about considering the situation you're in and the options you might have with cash flow. And I'll talk about 15 specific things that you can do to help your cash flow. But this will be a challenge, and so I encourage you to come back and bring a paper and a pencil with you and to look at the study guide when you get invested. You will enjoy it. I'm giving this same seminar, started 3 weeks ago on Tuesday nights, and I had a good crowd for our cash flow, and all of them really enjoyed it, and I did as well, because we learned things that we wouldn't do otherwise. And good class participation, not only with the chat board, but also talking back and forth. I will right now mention that you're welcome to chime in, raise your hand, put a note in the chat board. It's hard for me to read the chat board as I'm speaking, but if you put a flag up on your screen there with the reactions, that'll help me check it out. So I don't mind being interrupted. I might say I'll cover it in a few minutes, or we'll stop and talk about it. Or I may say I'll just send you an email and talk about it. But this is a give and take type webinar presentation, so I'll welcome your input. The next week on December 5th, we're going to skip some time over Thanksgiving, come back on December 15th and do forecasting and negotiating for win-win solutions and better deals. This too is an interactive type process where we'll actually do some examples and questions back and forth to have some good fun with negotiating and forecasting. Same situation with pricing. Pricing is a world of its own, and we're going to spend a particular class just on how to create a good advertised price that gives you room to negotiate, room to discount, and still end up with the profits that you need, whether you're pricing labor or products. And lastly, we end up on December 19 for my last webinar of the year, talking about preparing to do your taxes as a new business person, and spend right much time on what is depreciation and how it can help you and how it will affect you. New business owners sometimes just have no clue what depreciation is or how it can become a really good taxing tool for you. Our process tonight is not to tell you the right and wrong things to do, but to encourage you to how to find the awareness, to see things coming before they hit you, to see possible risks that are coming your way before they do damage. It's the awareness fashion. Because in business, we're just traveling along the highway, and there's very seldom do you have someone standing out beside the road that says, "Hey, stop, take a look here, this is important." We're on the highway, the DOT will put folks out there with a stop sign and warn you. Well, that's not the case in the business world. And we have to have a radar that is going to give us those warnings to help us see what's going on. Let's say you're going down the interstate, you're over in 85, and you're traveling along and you're on the wrong lane and you see the sign there, but you didn't see it in time, so you have to go past the place you needed to turn. And it really messes up your travel plans. Where sometimes you're just going along and everything's cool, it's a pretty day, and the place you needed to turn was just a little driveway, and you just zip past it and never knew you had a chance to make a move. Those are the turning points. Sometimes the opportunity to make the right change in your business or a different direction or a different decision comes to you really quick. And if you're not aware and don't have your radar on, we'll miss it just altogether in the world. Those points, I like to call them pivotal points for entrepreneurs. And David and all his friends and other business friends over in Western North Carolina. All of them over there are in a time of pivotal points right now and dealing with things they've never dealt with before and problems they never had. So I know how difficult this must be, and certainly I'm praying and hoping that we can find the right answers for all these folks, because I know they've got quite challenges. During this course series, it'll be the same homework all the way through, and in your handouts that are emailed to you, I don't challenge you to do a YouTube introductory video. I'll challenge you to do your mission, vision, and promise statements. And I'll send you emails with samples of how to do it to help you along. Also, I'd like some photos of you and your businesses so that we can start helping promote your business in the academy. I'd like for you to be on Facebook and have a Facebook personal and business page. I'll send you and have sent you a study guide called Main Street Smart Skills. I call it the drill skills, 40 different skills that give you great ideas of tactics and theories and tips about how to be a better entrepreneur and kind of get into your DNA of just good things to have in your tool belt. Also, in all of my courses, I like to focus on some vocabulary words that maybe we all should use more often or to give a special meaning. With this course, we're going to call them the 7A words. So they'll be part of your handouts as well. One of your challenges is to actually write down the script of a focused negotiation where that you've got a home that you're considering purchasing with a $180,000 value, and also an automobile that you're thinking about buying, and the most you can pay for is $21,000. Now, in our classes that we'll do in a couple of weeks, we'll do these exact same type exercises. I'll show you how to do it and what I'm talking about, and then ask you to do it on your own. This can be a major game changer for you in your learning process about negotiating and how to learn how to plan the negotiation in advance. Also, another homework challenge is how to do a retail pricing exercise where that you're buying something that costs you $5,000. I want you to make at least $900 margin on it. It has a fair market value of $7,000 and leave yourself $1,050 negotiating room. So it'll take a little time to do that, and I think you'll find it challenging, but a lot of fun. And after we do our pricing exercise, you'll have the information to help you get this done. So what we're after is a growth mindset, and we're going to hang on to it and put it to work. Let's talk about those 7A words. The first word we're going to talk about this week is attitude. Attitude, and how important that is in basically everything we do. Some folks, and you'll see this often in social media, is that attitude is everything, and I subscribe to that. I know how important it is for folks, and it's kind of like this. Attitude is like a flat tire, because if you got a flat tire, you can't go anywhere until you change it. And in entrepreneurship, it's about the same way. If that attitude is not the right one and your mindset is not the right one, it's going to be hard to go anywhere, and that's why I chose attitude to be the main one. Now, what can we do about it other than just experience it? We need to learn to monitor it. And with life and with some age and some wisdom and a lot of experience, you will be able to reflect back on your own attitude and make changes in it a lot better than maybe what you've been able to do in the past. Because what it is not so much that it's just you that it affects. Your attitude will affect your business and your relationships and everyone that's around you. It's so important. What attitude did you bring to class? That's the fundamental question. What attitude did you bring to class? I'm not talking about are you hungry or is your feet hurt or I'm worried about my sweetheart or my spouse or I forgot to feed the cat or the dog, those type of things that come and go so often with all of us. But what is the general attitude that you bring to class? You know, it's so much everything that it governs the way that you perceive the world, but more importantly, your attitude governs the way the world perceives you. And maybe you knew this all along, and I'm just telling you this to help remind myself and you as much. It is so, so very important. We have choices. We have a lot of choices that we can have our own encouragement, or we can do our own self-motivation. We can choose one of defeat and self-pity if we want to, or we can encourage ourselves and motivate ourselves. Which way do you go? I'm sure you know, as I know, lots of people that play in both of these courts all the time. Everyone that we encounter, my friends, has hard times. Everyone has hurt feelings from time to time and heartaches, and they can be so devastating. A lot of us can always find within our family folks with physical and emotional pain. Know that's out there. And as an entrepreneur, here's the key. We're all about relationship building, and we need to keep our radar on to get outside of our own world, to get outside of our own teapot. So that as we're talking with people, no matter what you have been encountering and what your attitude maybe is leading you towards now, we have to remember that we're talking to a potential customer, a long-term relationship, maybe a raving fan customer in the future. We have to keep that in mind, that they may be going through some tough stuff. And it's our job to boost them and make them feel better about it. You know, here's the bottom line, and this is kind of drawing it down on the attitude, what I want you to remember. It's not really what happens to you that matters. It's not really that important what happens to me that matters, but it's how you and I respond to it. It's how we are able to respond, and our attitude will determine how successful we can be at that. Marinate that on you for a while and put it into your way of thinking as you're growing in your business. It's not really what happens that makes the difference, but it's how you respond to it. So it's no secret that those people that approach the world with a positive attitude, those folks that approach the world with a positive attitude, own it. And I want you to be one of those folks. Attitude is everything. So type in over on the chat board. Let's get your happy fingers working, okay? Let's go over and type in on that chat board. Just type in these words. Attitude is everything. I'll strive to keep looking forward with a positive attitude. Type that in. The sheer fact that you do type it in is one little thing that'll help you hold on to it. Come on now, I want to see some typing going on. Attitude is everything. Thank you, Paige. Attitude is everything, and I'll strive to keep a forward-looking, positive attitude. Now, if this is the only thing that we do during this webinar tonight, that y'all have said this to yourself and you commit that promise to yourself, it will indeed be a good class. Little things make a world of difference. Let's talk about the pivotal points now. Let's kind of get into it. Why do I want to do this after 60-some years in business? Why do I think this is an important lesson that we teach to those folks who want to learn it? And that is, finding confidence in your business future is a big, big deal. And we can really get bogged down with worry clouds. We can let them just pack in on us and impact us to the point that we can't see the rainbows. We can't see the sunshine. Worry clouds are there. Now, again, I can relate to our friends in Western North Carolina, our business associates over there. Man, you talk about some worry clouds came in. But when I asked David today over in Marshall, who's with us tonight, he said, it was a great day today. We're making progress. That's what we have to do. We have to keep that attitude to go forward. So again, let's try these happy fingers again. Let's see what's going on. Is it really important for us to consider the seasons? Is it important for us to consider the seasons when forecasting our cash flow, marketing, and staffing requirements? Is that true or false? Is it important? Is it important? It is important, true or false. that we consider the seasons of the year. Yeah, I see some truths coming in, and that is so true. And I want to focus on that because keeping our radar on for pivotal points, the seasons are major pivotal points that we need to always keep in mind. How many days away, when to start our marketing, when to do this. And so many of us forget it till the last minute. And I'm as guilty as anyone could be. I had planned in August that on October 1st, I was going to kick off my fall marketing campaign, which is a big deal for me. I put a lot of time into it, and I really want to flood the market in October and November so I can get those end-of-year sales in my farm equipment business. Well, let me tell you that here it is on November 7th, and I hadn't kicked it off yet. I kept coming up with reasons I couldn't do it. I was busy, couldn't do it. But procrastination is a big thing that blocks our pivotal point lessons right here. I ended up with a good excuse that I kept using, said I'm going to wait till after the election because I know people will be more receptive after that. Until then, I think they just erased my emails thinking it was just more junk mail. Maybe there's some truth in that. It might even be called wisdom. But we have to remember the seasons are so very important. So let me ask you real quick, how many days before Thanksgiving? Type in right quick. Just what do you think? How many? 24, 21, 26 before Thanksgiving. So we're typing in there. And you might consider the day before Thanksgiving the day you're looking at, or Thanksgiving Day, or Black Friday, whatever is important to your business. But here's the point. The point is we have to keep aware of dates that are coming up on us on our calendar and how much wiggle room we have to make it work. We need to be aware of what those dates are. How many days before Christmas? Maybe your business is really related to having merchandise out there before Christmas. We have to keep aware of that calendar so that we'll know what the dates are that we need to make changes, put our marketing in gear, and make that work. How many days before New Year's? The same trend. A lot of us will try to end programs at the end of the year for those folks that are after tax breaks. And some folks want to kick off the new year with those folks that are making New Year's resolutions. We have to stay in touch with where we are on that game plan. Now, the easy question for you is, do you really like to make large deposits into your bank account? I'll be surprised if anyone says no, but type in yes if you want to make large deposits, because that's the first step to being able to get there. There you go, Robin. That's exactly right. I like to make large deposits too. It's a lot more fun to deposit $5,000 than it is $5, right? To make large deposits and to have our business continuously coming in, we have to be aware of the pivotal points that we have to go for. So in 3 words or less, type in what your mood is right now. In your words, whatever words you want to use, what is your mood at this very second? What is your mood at this very second? Be honest with yourself. What do you think? Feeling great? Looking forward? Tired? Swamped? Excited? Enthusiastic? Great attitude. What is your mood? That is your mood to determine. And we always have to monitor what our mood is internally. There you go, cozy, tired, and nervous. I know I can identify with all of those. Great. That's good. Because when you get ready to pick up the phone to talk to a customer or go into a negotiating meeting or meet someone new, your radar and your savvy, I want to encourage you to kind of do an internal check and say, well, how am I feeling? What's my mood? Because if you know what it is, then you are prepared to turn the switch on to being positive and energetic and being that salesman that you can be, and not let your mood get in the way of yourself. And that's what I do sometimes. I let my mood get in the way of my business self, and we have to be really, really careful. So are you ready in your business skills to take awareness of pivotal points and go to the next level? I'm asking you just straight up and down, are you ready to enhance your skills? And I hope everyone will type in a yes. because that's what we're going to try to do tonight all together. Give me a big yes over there. Thank you, Paige. Type that in there. Are you ready to enhance your skills? Because I'm going to sure try to help you do it. Let's talk about those flags coming up. You got to know now that more businesses fail each year than are started. More businesses fail than are started. And one of the reasons that they are is so many of us have started our business without much collateral or without much credit history. And to secure a loan or to get up and running, we basically had to personally finance our business. And that's not bad, but it's a fact. And because we've used our personal finances, I mean our budget money, our food budget, our education budget, our entertainment budget, we've used everything we got to make this business try to go forward. And that means we're out here not just doing business. We're out here trying to survive. We're out here trying to survive. I am, probably you are, that's the way most of us are. I doubt there's many billionaires in my classes who are letting some bank take all the risk and I'm just playing golf. No, I'm into it, I'm working it, I put my hours in, and I appreciate my customers and I know them by name. The game is survival, and being honest about it is so very important it is. The sooner you can tell that maybe you've got something that's putting your business in trouble, the better off we are. The sooner we can identify, the sooner we can pick up that pivot point or turning point is close by, the better off we are. So here are some things we need to be looking out for. Is our business consistently losing some revenues? Not necessarily not making profit, but our bank account just seems to be dwindling. Even though we're doing a lot of business, we got expenses that's taking lowering our net worth, our deposit level. And are you getting any warning signs to figure out what it is? Well, that is a red flag. That is a red flag. Maybe you're doing all you can do, but you still know there's something just isn't right. And if your revenue consistently is hard to maintain and you don't have an identifier for it, that's a red flag. If you need a helping hand, I can tell you right now that your small business centers are great helping hands. And this one says Martin Community College, that's same for James Brunt or wherever you're at. If you don't know the folks at your local community college small business center, send me an email or write it over into the chat board, and I'll certainly be glad to put it in touch with you because they can help you with this. Everyone makes mistakes. I do, you do, all of us will slip sometime and make a boner. No one is perfect, and no one is right all the time. This past week, last week, I almost took an order and shipped some product out based on a credit card payment that someone made to me that cleared the credit card company. I got the money in my bank right now, but I had a feeling about it, and I followed up with the credit card company and found out that it was actually someone had stolen a card and was using someone else's. They wouldn't tell me who the someone else was, but none of the information that the customer gave me, like their zip code or their home address or their first and last name, all of it was bogus, even though they had the right answers to get it to pass the credit card test. There's always the possibility that you can make a mistake. And hopefully you know someone or have been around long enough to kind of pick up on that like I did. That just didn't smell right to me. And the determining factor was I was thorough enough to check all the information, the credit card, everything looked good until I got to the zip codes. The zip code he gave me for the credit card to run it through was different than the zip code he gave me for his home address. Okay, that was a single factor that saved me $21,000. 21 grand. If I hadn't caught that, I would have shipped the equipment to someone who would have never paid me for it. Matter of fact, I wouldn't even known where it went. And number two, I would have had to eat that loss plus pay whoever owns that credit card back their money. Things can really get big in a hurry. So I know that I can make mistakes, therefore I try to stay on top of the game, and I want you to do about that too. We should learn from our errors. We need to have business savvy and wisdom, but they have to be earned and learned. Hence, learning points and earning points. That's where you find the savvy and the wisdom to keep on. The more you do, the more mistakes you're going to make. That's just the way it is. The more business that's available to you, the more mistake opportunities are there. So let me give you a little tip, a big tip for your future. Your products and services, the mix, the diversity you have in what you're offering to sell to folks or to do for them. There needs to be diversity in there. If you're just doing one thing, there's a good chance that one thing will always go south for one reason or another. Therefore, we need several. I like to recommend at least 5 profit centers in your business. So you can have business coming in year-round from different type of customers. A diverse offering will give you good, more stability and sustainability and cash flow. Product mix is important. So if you'd like to share information with me on what your product mix is, I'll be glad to give you some pointers on it if you'd like to. Next little tip that can make a great big difference is be aware that everyone in the world, all your customers and all my customers and all of us, we basically buy 2 different kinds of things. We basically make purchases of 2 different types. We make purchases of things that we want, and sometimes that's an impulse item or just it feels good at the time, or I've got a little extra money, I want it, I'm going to buy it. And then the other type of purchase is something we really need. Medicine, our toothbrush, our groceries, our dog food. So we really need that. Gas for our car, tires for our cars, flowers for a funeral, all different types of things. But we need to classify them in our mind. Is this something that people normally want, or is it something that people normally need? And that brings us to the point that if you've got some items of both categories, your chances of having a sustainable business are really enhanced. Having things that they want and they need, and then being able to connect the dots so you're able to offer like products to people. And I call that doing upsells by saying those magic words. And by the way, we've also got this, and by the way, we've got that. Having that helps you serve the customer that came to you with more than just one sale. And it's a big, big difference that we need to really look at everything you're doing in your business to help improve that. Hopefully it's not the case, but every now and then our cash flow will get stuck in reverse. And it just seems to be going the wrong way. And that is a red flag, my friend. That is a red flag that we're not going to just talk about it. We need to do some things about it, that cash flow in reverse. So let's talk about cash flow in a little bit. What gets us to the point to have cash flow? First of all, it may be overestimating how much sales we're going to have, and then it doesn't happen. So that would be called poor cash flow forecasting. And we have to be really careful about that. Maybe letting people owe us money. Maybe sending out products and not getting cash back for them. I call that having past due receivables. And that can, immediately affect your cash flow. And what I have to remind you of, you need a comprehensive plan. If your type of business can get you in a situation where people can get behind or pay you late payments, that's got to have a plan. In some businesses, that's part of the deal. But also part of the deal is you having a plan to be able to collect that money quickly and without costing you a lot of money. Don't let past due receivables let people use your money and put you out of business by doing that. Cash flow is something we need to track every day. We need to have a flow every day. What I do in my business, and I'm looking right here at my checkbooks in my business, every Friday I take a hard look at what's come in and what's gone out. I compare my accounts compared to what I was doing the same thing last year, the amounts. So I'm always monitoring my cash flow to see what kind of trend I'm on. Do that daily. And if it's going the wrong way or you see an urgent matter, keep track of it, and you're at a turning point and an earning point, actually an earning point. One of the things that gets us in trouble related to cash flow is that we do not have a cushion. We do not have a rainy day fund. We don't have a place that if we get a little bit behind in our cash flow, we can't reach over here and pull in some fund to get us through a short-term crisis. Without that, we're in big trouble. We got all kinds of red flags going up. So if you have a little cushion, and that might be a reserve account that you've got cash in, or it might be a credit line. And those are very, very important. Now, next week we're going to talk about cash flow particularly and dive into really the basics of cash flow. And you'll get lots of good tips on not only 15 ways to improve your cash flow, but also we're going to have 3 exercises to help you deal with things in your business that we'll practice what we would do. Cash flow problems can relate to having too much inventory. We ordered in a lot more than we could sell in time. So we had a misjudgment there. So we got in all this product, we've had to use up our cash to pay for it, and it's just sitting on the shelf. We got to remember that the word turn, T-U-R-N, short for turnover, is a big, big deal in cash flow problems. Turnovers are important. We want to bring in our inventory at such a rate that we can keep turning it, because that's when we make profit and improve our cash flows when we turn it. Maybe you've just been real busy and selling a lot of stuff, but all of a sudden you find out that you really don't know what's happening. Your books aren't organized to the point that you can tell me or you or anyone else whether or not you're making money, but you see that you got money in the bank, but you also got a lot of bills coming in and you're worried about it. Disorganized books is certainly a red flag that you need to be aware of. Poor employee management, maybe you're not at the point that you've hired employees yet, or maybe you have, but poor management of your employees can lead to cash flow problems big time in a hurry. So just always keep that in mind. And right where I started out, if you're not forecasting the seasonal changes are affecting your customers, your market, and your business, then you're making a major mistake. That's a red flag. Make seasonal business a major part of your planning and your marketing and your what profit centers that you're going to have. It's a big, big deal. So be aware of that. There's so many seasons now and so many holidays and special days. You can run a business marketing campaign just by taking it 1 month at a time, because every month's got some special days, Mother's Day, Father's Day, July the 4th, and of course your different seasons as well. Make that a part of your thinking, because that's what the world's thinking for sure. So let's say you got some cash flow problems. The first thing I want to recommend to you is don't panic. Don't panic. Don't throw your hands up. Don't go borrow a bunch of money just to try to cover yourself. Don't panic. We want to plan what we're doing. Just calm down. Let me assure you that doing the right steps, you're going to be all right, and create a plan. And we're going to talk about how to do that planning tonight and next week to move things to a better place when it comes to cash flow. You've got options. You may not think you've got options, but by the time you finish these classes, you'll know that you do, and we'll show you how to use them. And because you have options, that means you can make a good plan. Remember that with cash flow basis, there's only 3 kinds of categories that we focus on: old money, current money, and future money. And if we separate it out that way, it makes it a whole lot easier for us to look at what's going on. So when we're talking about old money, you want to make sure you collect the money that's owed to you. You are not a banker. You're not a banker. With these credit card machines that people have now, there's no excuse that someone can't pay you right on the spot. Encourage advance or early payments to get some old money keep flowing. Maybe you've got some money out there that people don't really owe you till a later date, but you're in a cash flow situation. Go to them and see if you can make an arrangement to get an early payment. Maybe this person hadn't got the money to pay you. They've had some bad luck. Maybe something happens. Well, don't be too good or to be afraid of, do some bartering. Create some product. Maybe they've got something they can give you that you can sell, or maybe they've got something they can go sell to turn it into money. Look for out-of-the-box options to get your old money back in. You might have to do some discounting. You might not end up with as much as that you felt like you needed, but if it's old money and they're in big trouble, you're either going to get a little bit or nothing. So be satisfied with whatever you can get and take that money and then put it back to work. Be willing to do that. That's a good thing to do. And if it's old money and you're having a serious cash flow issue with red flags just flopping in the wind, remember your raving fan customers, your regular customers that really like you and love you and done business with you a long time. They're always the first choice of folks to go see to see if they know someone that's ready to buy something, what they might buy from you that maybe they had planned to buy in the future, but they'll do it now. Your established customers are the folks that's going to tell you how to get out of a current cash flow issue. So we have to establish those raving fan customers so that we can. Remember, stay positive, keep a smile on your face. We can't get anywhere without the right attitude. So with old money, let's review here. Collect your old receivables. Try to get you some earlier advance payments. Discount and barter if you need to. Reach out to your raving fan customers and stay positive attitude and smile. That's the old money. Now let's talk about the current money. That cash flow current money is what we want to talk about next. Current money is let's pinch every penny. If we've got some money, let's stretch it out as far as we can. Don't be ridiculous unless you have to be ridiculous. But pinch those pennies to keep your cash flow so you can pay your bills and stay in business. You're doing business today, get paid today. Review whatever you're doing that lets customers keep the money and not give it to you because you need it. Review what's happening, and then even if you have to create cash flow by discounting a little bit more, or offering a little bit more product, or being smarter, that's important. And here's the footnote. If you have priced your materials at a point that you can negotiate, that you can discount and still end up with a profit, then when you have a cash flow crisis, it puts you in a position to do something about it because you've got room in your pricing to create some instant cash flow by discounting. Take advance deposits and payments. If someone will need something next month or in 6 months but willing to pay you for it now, give them a good discount, take their money, and make them happy, and you be happy too. You're going to be happy because you didn't have to go to the bank. Now, this method means that you have to be trustworthy, and you have to be dealing with a customer that's trustworthy. So this just isn't something that you would just put out on the street. Now, these are confidential arrangements that help people stay in business. Find and create credit lines. Find and create credit lines. Now, this is super important for you. And having credit lines can really tear down some red flags because it'll give you some breathing room. And there's different kinds of credit lines that we'll dive deep into next week and have exercises with them. But do what you can do to have credit lines or some options on some credit cards so that you're not in a crisis and lose your business just because cash flow goes down a little bit. Maybe it's time to get an investor. Maybe your business is growing to the point that you can't grow anymore unless you have an influx of cash and you don't want to borrow it. But if you could find an investor that wanted to come on board with you, that might be a good thing. I need to mention to you now, with investors, you can have an investor that gives you money and expects to get paid back on a certain date at a certain interest rate. Or you might have partners that put money in the business and they expect to share in the gain or the losses of your business. Investors sometimes will want to give you some money and want to then own stock in your company. This is a red flag going up to you right now because I'm encouraging you never to give up more than 50% of your business. You want to maintain 51% ownership of your business, or you can lose it at the whim of someone else. Keep that in mind. Sometimes an investor is a good thing to help a new startup business to get to the next level. Evaluate your profit centers, as we've said before. What did I say earlier? We want profit centers of things that people want and things that people need. Things that people want and things that people need. And we need at least 5 profit centers in our business and hopefully a whole lot more. I'm fortunate enough to have about 30 profit centers in my business, and I can manage them pretty good at my website. That's carverequipment.com if you wanted to visit there. But you look at what you're selling, what you're offering. Adding profit centers may be a direct way for you to start adding to your cash flow and your current money. Current money, consider offering some type of customer loyalty plans, some way to get that customer that's coming in now to pretty much assure that they're going to come back later. That can really help you to do that. Advertise smartly with look and hook. Now, y'all hadn't heard this term before, but look and hook is one of the advertising tools that I mention oftentimes. The look is make sure your ads look good enough to get someone to stop and read it. And the hook is a call to action that you've got inserted in that ad. The hook is the reason that customer needs to call you right now or to come on and let's do some business. The look and hook campaign is a way that you can hold your ads accountable to making money. Because that hook should have a terminated date, a coupon, a QR code, a way that you know that ad was working. And if your ads are working, you keep doing them. But 95% of all ads that people do don't work, don't earn a penny for them. So the best way that you can protect your advertising investments is to use the look and hook factors that we teach and advertise. Lastly, keep that positive attitude and smile for that current money. So reviewing, pinch every penny, get paid now, take deposits, take payments, find credit lines, maybe find an investor, evaluate all your profit centers, promote customer loyalty plans, use look and hook, stay positive, and smile with a good attitude. Future money, the third category for the monies. Number 1, think outside of the box. Maybe you're in a rut, been doing the same old for a long, long time. Let's make some changes. Let's think out of the box. Brainstorm with a trusted, intelligent, business-minded friend. Just don't have coffee and tea and a donut or a biscuit. Sit down and have some serious business-related conversations. There's time to socialize and there's time to talk business. And let me share with you, the people at the Small Business Center are the great people to do that brainstorming with. And they will know people that's in the same business that you're getting started, and maybe they can refer you to them to serve as advisors or counselors and get some really good ideas. You can't expect to know it all. I don't know it all. I know a lot about some particular things, and I'm an expert counselor on those. But sometimes I'll tell folks just like you, I don't know what you need to know, but I can find someone that can help you. So find those trusted friends to do some brainstorming with. It's hard to brainstorm right by yourself. Matter of fact, I don't even think that you can do it. Add profit centers for things that people need. Add profit centers for things that people want. So very important, so simple, and so very important. The low-hanging fruit. On an apple tree, that's the fruit that you can reach very easily. You don't have to get on a ladder. You can just fill your basket up very easily and very quickly. The low-hanging fruit in our business I'm talking about here are your customers, the different type of niche market customers that are located here or there or interested in certain products. And when you can identify the low-hanging fruit type customers, those customer bases of people that like your products, like you, they're nearby, you've got a good sense that you can do business with them. Maybe it's established customers from the past. You want to put them in a database that you can stay in touch with them and send your regular current advertising and promotions to their attention. We have to keep reminding them about it. But you can't be all things to all people. You can be everything to some people, and those are going to be that low-hanging fruit niche markets. So what are you doing about establishing who those people are? And then let's find a marketing tool that'll get us in touch with them at a low cost and an effective return, which is what this is promoting. A marketing plan needs to be structured. I'd like to ask you to have a structured plan that is something in writing, something in a computer file that you know on a certain date you're going to start targeting this particular product to this particular target group. You know how much money you're going to spend because you got a goal of what your sales goal is. Having a structured plan is so important. Now, if you don't have a clue about that or how to get that structured plan, I'll share with you that in January we'll be starting up a in-depth 7-part course that on week 3 we'll dive deep into setting your marketing plan up, and on week 4 showing you how to use it. So there's good opportunities with my webinars to get something structured, and I'll certainly be glad to share that with you. If you'd like to read up on it before then, you can certainly look at my videos and study guides that I'll share with you related to it. But if you don't have a structured marketing plan, then you're not there yet. You're not at the point that you must be to be able to know the pivotal points when they're coming your way and to take advantage of them. This is not to dodge risk. This is to take advantage of things that are coming. You want to have performance goals of your own. That calendar is so important. I'd like for you to have a calendar, as I do. What did I do? How much money, what revenues need to be in a certain month? How many of this product do I need to sell? How many of that product do I need to sell? And to have that in my face reminding me so that I'm always striving to reach a goal. The only way that you're going to reach your goals is to set goals and set the mileposts that you need to use to get there. So get in the habit of setting goals. Now, after you've been in business a few years, you can take your profit and loss statement or year to date compared to last year, and automatically it's pretty much laid out for you if you set your bookkeeping chart of accounts up properly. So that's the key to doing that, and it's one of the things that we'll teach you in January as well. Lastly, be positive and smile. So here we go. Think out of the box for new money, for future money. Brainstorm. Add profit centers people think they want and they need. Target the low-hanging fruit customer groups. Get a structured marketing plan. Establish goals and dates. And stay positive. That's a major key to what we want to do. So that was red flags related to cash flow. Let's talk about red flags related to the good old IRS, things that might affect them. So what do you need to worry about as far as the IRS is concerned? First of all, if you're in a business that has a lot of cash, I mean, it's all cash. It's quarters and dimes and nickels or $100 bills, but it's cash. It's not checks. It's not credit cards. You're dealing with a lot of cash. I want to tell you, the IRS already has a red flag up for you. They know the different types of businesses by having dealt with everyone for so many years, and if that is the category of your business, it will automatically rise higher on the apt to be examined list. So just know that. Don't go into this naive, and if that is your business, you're going to need to have a better set of books so that you can justify what your tax returns are. If you're showing excessive losses without a good reason, if you're showing executive losses without a good reason, but staying in business year after year after year, then someone's going to say, well, how are they staying in business with all those losses? And there's different ways that you can do that with depreciation things and things like that, or taking a big loss a number of years ago. And the good thing about losses are they can carry forward with you. You can have a really bad year and then have 10 or 12 good profitable years, and but your losses are going to protect you all that time. But if you're dealing with excessive losses, that means you need to keep a tighter string on your bookwork because you're apt to be challenged on it. Buying vehicles, letting company-owned vehicles, you do all your personal travel on company-owned business, then you're going to need to pay the company back for that travel. That's the place that people get in trouble with the red flags. And it's a place that you need to keep your records better if that's the case. Meal deductions and entertainment, if you're in a business that you're spending a lot of money on yourself, your family, or your customers, or your friends, and you're claiming that as business deductions, then let me tell you, if that's a lot of bucks, you better have some good records to back it up. You got the records, you'll be okay. But these are issues that have a lot of gray area that you probably ought to speak with a really experienced bookkeeper or a CPA, someone that really knows the current laws related to deductions and entertainment, okay? Now, our last class in this series will be diving into taxes and depreciation, and I've got some good information there on folks just getting started that are doing vendor type or pop-up type of selling on what the tax issues that mostly will affect you. We'll dive into that pretty strong. Home office deductions. You're operating out of your home. Do you want to have an outside building that you're renting to yourself, or are you charging for home office deduction based on square footage? Let me take a minute and see what Paige has to say here. Absolutely, Paige. If you're doing business on your personal vehicle, the business is supposed to will pay you back 65 cents. I think that's the current rate. 65 cents for every mile you travel. That's to say, if you go 100 miles on a business trip or running errands or going back and forth to the bank, if you go 100 miles, then the business should pay you back $65. And you keep up with that on by day and where you're going, and it's automatic, and it's a 100% tax deduction for the business. And the good news is it is not taxable income to you. So keep that in mind. And that's always something you'll want to verify with your bookkeeper or your accountant. But it's a big, big deal, because at 65 cents, if you're putting a lot of miles on your vehicle, you can pretty much pay the maintenance and the cost of it on a good used, fairly late model vehicle. Might not be able to buy a brand new one at today's prices, but you can keep up a used car quite well with that. But yes, and thank you for the question. That's a big deal. Red flags for startups now. Let's talk about that. Let's say that you want to be in business and you're a great person and you just know you know what you know. But the key is, do you know what you don't know? Do you know what you don't know? And the sheer fact that you're here tonight is indicating that you folks are in tune with that. But you want to improve to the point and enhance your management skills, people skills, product knowledge, customer service skills, and hospitality skills. I do all that in my what we call academy courses that we'll be doing in January. We cover all these different bases. But between now and January, if you want more information on any one of those type skills, I'll be glad to share it with you. You can be reading up and getting ready. But don't just keep being naive. Keep working, keep studying, keep asking questions. Improve those skills. Surround yourself around people that have them and observe them. It's a good thing to do. But the red flag part, the warning part for entrepreneurs is to assume that people don't care if you have good product knowledge, or to assume you can wing it because it's 2024 and you're a good computer person. No, we need the basic skills. Do you know what a raving fan customer is? And do you know how to create a raving fan customer? Robin, Paige, David, raving fan customers are the people that will keep you in business as long as you want to be in business. Raving fan customers will go out in the world and brag on you and send other people your way. So I want you to have raving fan customers, but they don't happen by themselves. You basically have to create them, because you can have loyal customers, regular customers, good customers, shining customers, friendly folks, but that doesn't mean they're going to be a raving fan. and I'll be glad to share with you all the information on how to create those. Don't have time to do it in this particular lesson, but we'll do it in January, or I'll be glad to send you information. The 40 drill skills, that is one of your study guides, will help you get started into the ways to get raving fan customers on your side. But you want them, and you're going to need them. If you don't have raving fan customers, then that's a big red flag. Forecasting, how a negotiation will go, requires extreme preparation. Extreme preparation. And in week 3 of this class, we will dive into it big time. We did it Tuesday night and had a ball in negotiating with the class that was with us. So if you haven't had those exercises or those experiences, let me share with you. There's 23 different negotiating ploys and actions that you can take. There's a lot of wrinkles in this, and it's fun. It's fun, and it's knowledgeable. And when we get into the class, you'll see, hey, I remember somebody using that on me. If I'd have known it was a negotiating ploy, I might have got a better deal out of the thing. But it's a big deal. Negotiating and forecasting will help you pay probably 10 to 15% less on everything that you're purchasing, and help you make or earn 10 to 15% more on the selling side. That's 20 to 30% additional margin that you can have just by negotiating and forecasting. We can't afford not to do it and not to learn those skills. So let's work on them. Big red flag for so many of us entrepreneurs of startups is we're just drifting. We're not powering, we're not on course, we're just drifting along in the river, trying to stay between the banks. We're not really in focus, but we're out of focus and just trying to go wherever it's taking us. That's not good. We want a path, we want a chart, we want to have a way of thinking that we know where we're going. A good structured marketing plan and a good structured business plan will help you do that. So, and this is something in writing, something that you've done that you're all. Now, let me tell you, business plans and marketing plans for startup businesses are guesswork. It's like looking in a crystal ball. I know that. You hadn't been in business long enough to know the facts. But there are people that help you, like me and other folks, that will help you put together a business and marketing plan based on experience with your type of business that will help you get started, help you put up those first mileposts, and then you make the adjustments as you go. But don't just be drifting. So if I ask you, are you just drifting along, or do you have a plan? What I want you to be able to answer is, we've got a plan and we're working on it. That plan is going to help you to think long-term rather than just what's in front of you today. And long-term is all about the plan, all about the road mark, all about the milepost that we need to have as startup businesses. And we'll certainly try to help you get there. Lack of follow-through is a deal. If you look at my desk right now, you can say, Steve, you're the last person in the world that should be teaching follow-through, because I've got at least 20 stacks of material that I finished and moved over here, but didn't file them or put them in an appropriate place because I didn't follow through. I jumped right into my next project. Tomorrow, Friday, I'm going to promise you guys right now, and y'all hold it to me next week. Tomorrow, before I call it a week, I'm going to clean this desk up and file that stuff where I can find it when I need it. Follow through is important because it's keeping me from moving into new projects right now. That's a red flag for all of us. Cutting corners is the human thing to do, but it's a red flag for startup businesses, because if you get in the habit of cutting this corner and the next one and just make it a regular thing, it's not good. Not being willing to ask for advice or to carry everything on your own shoulders, to burn yourself out, carrying this load alone is a bad thing. And I have to put a footnote in here. As much as I want to motivate you to do all these different things, I'm primarily going to say to you, Paige, I'm primarily going to say to you, Robin, stay at your own pace. Make sure you're moving forward. Make sure you've got goals. Make sure you're going towards them. But don't burn yourself out. It's important that you tune out sometimes folks like me that are telling you all these things you got to do, and just call it noise and turn that off. Then be still and know. Sit down and meditate. Soak in some good endurance, inspiration. Wherever you find your inspiration, do it. Don't try to carry this load alone. Sometimes I ask my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ to help me carry some load, and He will. And I just try to turn it loose, be still, and meditate. Then after a period of time, I get my direction back in place, get up, make my bed up good and tight, and start a new day. That's what we need to do. So even if you don't have a partner, find a place that you can turn loose and charge your battery, and don't try to carry everything alone, okay? You've got advisors, you've got friends. Find people that you can talk to and relax, people you can trust that are smart. Smart people are hard to find, but you can find them. I know you can find them in the small business centers. So just know that that's a valuable tool for you to help you hold on to your wits as we're getting started. If you've started hiring customers or you need to hire help and they're turning over very quickly, there's a reason for it. And that reason for it is a red flag. Having weak business skills and not understanding the here and there about what employees really need and what they're looking for more so than just a wage is important. So figure that out. Let's enhance those employment skills to help you hang on to your employees. That's the biggest waste of money that we have as business people, is losing employees and have to constantly keep hiring and training. First of all, we're losing business. We need an employee to keep our business going. And the new employees make a lot of mistakes, and we have to pay for that, right? And when they're gone, we have to start have a period of time without them. So a turnover of employees is not a good thing, and we need to figure that out, and we can help you do that. If you find yourself lying, just flat telling stories, making excuses or rationalizing actions, that means there's some problems. There's a problem. It may not be with you. That's not, of course, a good trait to have, but the situation in your business is putting you in that position needs to be corrected. You just don't need to keep rationalizing or lying about it, but let's put some fixes in place. And sometimes it's just easier to sweep it under the rug and keep on and pretend they're not there. We can't do that. Be honest with yourself. If there's a problem, let's fix it. Let's try to get rid of it and do our best to make it work. Are you borrowing more money and paying back less? That would be called an unbalanced budget, which leads to the question, do you have a budget? Do you have a budget? And if you don't, please send me an email or let me know in chat here that you'd like for me to send you some information on it. We dive real deep into this in week 2 of my 14-hour course that we'll do in January, but I'll be glad to send you advanced information on it so you can start working on it now. Are you falling behind on paying your taxes? That doesn't work. Are you putting off your income taxes or your payroll taxes? That doesn't work. Don't think for a single minute that you're going to get by with it. There's no place you can hide. Payroll taxes especially. If you've got employees and you need to be paying them and their taxes, do it. And if you're not quite sure how you're going to make it work, find someone to help you. And do it now. Don't let it go another week or another month without getting some help. Safety net. Cash flow. Bills you didn't expect. Do you have a plan B that if you have some unexpected bills to come in, do you have a plan B on how you're going to pay them? And even a plan C. Plan B might be a little reserve account with some cash. Plan C might be your Aunt Myrtle who will loan you some money. But in your own mind, in your own mindset, cash flow is so important and red flags are so important that if things are coming along, do you already know where you'll go run for cover, where you might go get some help? Now, most of us are out here all alone, and that's a sensitive subject with me, and probably maybe for you. But I do have a plan B, and I do have a plan C. They're not really strong, but I'm always thinking about what if this and what if that. And the what ifs may be good news just as much as they might be bad news. What if I win the lottery? What would I do? Now, I don't dwell on that, I'll guarantee you. But just as an example, it doesn't hurt to think about things like that. You don't want to discount the fact that if you don't take care of this stuff, you're going to have some big financial problems. And financial problems can come on you quick, but they don't go away quick. So consider these items as threats, and let's find a way to help you get in a position that they're not threatening you anymore. It's something that we think about all the time. If you're doing all the talking, that's a red flag. And here I am saying that, doing all the talking tonight, but I don't mean that part. If you're doing all the talking with customers and lenders and people that can help your business, or with a counselor, you're doing all the talking and not very much listening, then you're missing out. Because the biggest problem is not knowing what you don't know. And as long as you're talking, you're not learning. That's why these classes are so important to me, because I learn a lot with y'all's feedback after classes. I respond to every note that you send to me or email, and I learn a lot from you and have for 15 years from maybe as many as 5,000 or 6,000 Academy folks that have come through. So keep on listening. Thank you for doing that tonight. If you're ignoring the lessons, that's your fault. All us teachers can do is to share with you, and that doesn't mean you have to take it all in, but please don't ignore it. Please have that radar that I talked about early on, that you are taking in information and considering it and trying to move yourself to a better place. Have a plan, as we said before. No plan, no good. Maybe you're in business and maybe you've got some old inventory and it just feels good. You're proud of it. You think it's something that you're going to sell one day for a lot of money or get your money out of it. That almost never works. And holding on to old inventory, non-sellable items, generally is saying that you've got available cash flow that if you sell that stuff, you could take some money, new money, and put it to new work, making money, and turn it over. So if you've got the ability to take some old iron and turn it into money, that is a great magic trick, and I suggest you give it some consideration. If your customer base is decreasing instead of increasing, that's a red flag. If you have fewer customers today than you had last year, that's a red flag. Let me tell you that most every business loses a third of its customers every year. And losing a third of your customers means we have to do something every day, and that is have profit centers that are bringing in new customers. Every day we have to have in our plan profit centers that are designed to bring in new customers off the street to replace the ones that you're losing that you won't ever hear from again. Are you doing that? Or you designed something in your business plan to bring in new customers? Let's say the market is just going in the other direction. The insurance policies that someone sells as an insurance person have just been replaced in the whole marketplace with something else. If that's the situation you're into, and the items that you're dependent on staying in business with are drifting out of the market, not becoming sellable anymore, or kind of a cold shoulder, then kick the tires, get the right profit centers that are hot and profitable for you. Don't let the bad profit centers put you out of business, lose your customers, Do what it takes to make changes. Do you feel like your company reputation is sinking or in stinking? For whatever reason, maybe it's your leadership, maybe it's your products, maybe it's warranty issues with your products, but if you sense that your reputation as a business person and your business's reputation is going in the wrong direction, that requires immediate change. It requires you taking action to do something about it, because every day you let it go further means it'll take you 3 days to get back to a positive situation. Now, in the serious note, in the human note, a red flag that sometimes comes up is that you just feel like it's time to move on. You've done this as long as you want to do it. It's not fun, it's not exciting, it's not rewarding for you, but it's time to move on. You keep telling yourself that. Now that's the red flag, because you are at a turning point, and whether you make that turn or not, it's going to be up to you, and how fast you make it is going to be very, very important. But the bottom line is don't panic. In none of these situations should you panic. You ought to calm down, make a plan, consider all your options, keep smiling and be positive, and go to work with that plan. Now, owning a mindset to keep your business alive for a long time, there's 8 important factors to owning that mindset. 1, you got to have the passion. You got to want it to be good, you want it to be new and worthwhile. You have to be willing to face the risk head on and solve problems. Be dramatically different. The drama is what draws the attention of the customer. Be dramatically different so that people will recognize you're making changes and come do business with you. Keep the strength and keep the endurance that even though we know you're encountering problems and setbacks and maybe failures, you've got the intestinal fortitude, the strength and endurance to keep on pushing. And that's what we do. I've been there and done that. I understand how it is. Stay flexible and get these new skills in place. Learn to open communicate with customers and learn to share your ideas with folks. Maybe you hadn't been doing that. Maybe you hadn't been in a position to, hadn't been a salesperson before, but you need to practice doing that. Be willing to be a leader and to motivate and to inspire people, and we do that best when we're offering mutual helpfulness. You don't have to be a great public speaker or educated with a master's or doctorate degree. If your goal in working with people is to give mutual helpfulness, then you're good, because people don't care how much you know. They only care about how much you care. Okay, and you show that. Find these pivotal points in time to make a difference. That's what I've been trying to encourage you to do, is be willing to know that the pivotal points are coming at you all the time. Recognize them on your radar and say, hey, I need to address this right now. So number 3, what are the points? The earning points. How much money are you bringing in? The learning points. What do you know? What are your learning skills? The turning points. Or is it time to make a change? Is it time to turn that steering wheel? This may cause either a miracle or a mess. A miracle or a mess. And I know that. You're facing these important things for the first time. And oftentimes it's a scary situation. But deal with them. These moments in time need to be dealt with at a certain time and place so that you can make the changes needed to help your growth and your employment, your delivery, and actually your freedom in business. Know that there is a time and a place to make a change, and be willing to do it when it's here. There's 3 ways that we can handle these things. We can hold on and just endure. We can change everything and anything right now, or we can take the time for a while to study and consider the different plans that I can apply to this point. So how would you approach that? Hold on, change everything now, or take the time to study it for a while and make the best decision you can? I like the last choice. I like to take a little bit of time. Earning points, every new business can get stuck. That is to say, your business has got to a certain level, earning money, and for it to go up, to make a change, you don't have to make an investment in more profit centers or more people or more marketing and advertising. Something's got to change. If your business is at that level, it's little, but it needs to grow. You've got to make some changes. Just don't stay at that stagnant place. That's the lesson I'm trying to bring to you. Be willing to say, okay, I want to carry this to the next level. And that's where your marketing and your business plan comes into play, because you'll consider the different profit centers to maybe help you get there and the costs that are involved in doing that. Cash flow is always something that's got to be managed, and we need different sources of revenues to keep it going. Earning points are saying, how can I improve my cash flow? Next week, we'll talk about 15 ways to improve the cash flow. The remedies: close leaks, increase your upsells, and have the courage to find out where your problems are and fix them. That's the remedies to cash flow leaks. Learning points, in a nutshell: maybe you don't have any business skills. They're just non-existent, or they're very weak. Or maybe there's some business skills that you know that you can really improve on. That is a huge red flag, and it's the main red flag for learning points. So let's learn these management skills and people skills, product knowledge, customer skills. It's not easy, but it's not hard either. It's just we have to dedicate ourselves to do it. To learn how to create those raving fan customers, how to forecast and negotiate it. We dive into this in our next lessons. Choose a tribe, become to be a part of a tribe of smart people. Now, this may sound a little weird to you, but I need to say it. Fully admit our ignorance where it exists. I've got places I'm ignorant with that I would like to improve. And let's challenge our own ideas and thinking. But joining a tribe of smart people, sometimes it's the most difficult thing because they're hard to find. Keep your radar up to find them. Got to remember that high intelligence and common sense are very valuable items. And you want to think that you want to be with people who do not think. This is who do not think all the time, cheap, 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 when considering the value of something. As an entrepreneur with a growing business, you need to understand that value moves you away from cheap, cheap, cheap. You start selling value, better value for more and more profits. So move away from the cheap, cheap, cheap person and the take it or leave it type selling person. Get a goal-oriented plan to help move you in the right direction, and you'll see how that works. Now, part of that will come to you with a good structured marketing plan and remembering how to price your products. It'll help you automatically move there. Turning points are the pivotal moments, and you have the power to transform the future. That's the summary of tonight's class. You have the power to transform the future. As you're moving along, remember we need to get in the right lane to make the turn when it needs to do. We need to keep our radar on and be aware of what's happening. And remember, these little red flags that we're seeing can be super, super important. So what are the places in our lives where these turning points show up big time? It may be that you just graduated or someone's graduated. They got to make some turning points. Maybe it's marriage or divorce, big times in people's lives. Maybe you read a book, as I mentioned to Robin earlier. I had a small business center director. I introduced to her a book, and within a month, she had gone to California and pursuing a different career. Little things sometimes can be really, really important. Maybe you were in a sermon recently and the preacher's message sunk in and made a difference. Sometimes we have to let them make a difference instead of keeping our doors shut and not considering these things. Maybe you're in a job search or it's time to change bosses. You know, a lot of people don't quit good jobs, but they will quit a boss in a hurry. So just know that happens, and you want to be the kind of boss that's not a taskmaster, but a leader, so that you do make a difference. So if you're seeing employees leaving you in the work that you're doing now, there's a chance that you're a bad boss, and you need to have some learning and turning points in how you handle people and people management. Keep that in mind. It's not always they just want another job. Oftentimes they want another boss. You might have experienced a really bad accident, a life-changing moment. People say, oh man, I almost got out of here today. I don't think I want to do this the rest of my life. Those happen. They're natural. Know that it's natural and be willing to address them as real things. Maybe you had a health event, an illness event. Possibly someone was just enlisted in the military or discharged from the military. These are times that people are at their turning points in life. As an entrepreneur, is working with customers, is working with employees, is looking for investors, be aware of these turning points and how important it is for people. A death in the family, bad news out of the blue, just a curveball has come at you, will change people's reflection on business. And I got a feeling that a lot of us nowadays are talking about, I'm retiring from one career and I'm ready to start a new one. I'm retiring, I'm ready to start a new one. That's a big deal, and it's a huge turning point. I'm hoping these examples will show you how all of us have to deal with these. COVID-19 made a huge turning point in almost all businesses in America. I'm one of the lucky, fortunate few that says that COVID-19 helped me triple my business because I have an internet sales business. And I sell to a lot of rural areas all across the country. And COVID-19 sent people to internet shopping that had never been there before, and it's still paying a dividend. So things that you might think in your mind might be all negative, once you dive into it, could be very positive. That helps you decide to put some new products in and to try to meet some new customer demands. Having that open book attitude can go a long way. Being underfunded is the reason most of us have to go out of business. Keep trying to find that way to have that cushion. This is so important. Missing a sale sometimes will be so disappointed that you just give up. Can't do that. We have to study it and talk about it. Instead of getting depressed about it, find someone to talk to and put on that positive attitude to keep going forward. Maybe your current job's not doing too good and need to make a change. That's a turning point for people. But it's just time to move on. I'm just tired of doing the same old, and I hear that so often with entrepreneurs. And that doesn't mean that it's all a bad red flag, but it is a turning point flag. You either address it and do something about it, or just procrastinate and go on and don't make positive changes. What do? First of all, we have to tune in our turning points GPS. We've talked about all these different factors that can make a difference. We need to turn our radar on and be more alive and see that it's coming forward. So I'm thinking about David now. You talking about a GPS and turning points in a business. Your office is washed away down the river, and you're right here a couple of months away from tax season, and that's your business. That's a turning point. If there's never been a better example. So David and his partners are figuring out all the options they have and trying to figure out what to do about it. And diving in there with good experience, good GPS, I hope it certainly works out. As you're developing your business, Robin and Kay and Paige, you want to try to remember to stay on the curve, the curl of the wave. If you're surfing, you want to be up front. You want to be out there hanging 10. You don't want to be on the back side of the wave just going up and down. The folks that are on the front of the wave are moving forward. They're making time. They're making money. So depending on where you are in your particular business, try to position yourself with your marketing and your products and your services to be on the curl of the waves so you can enjoy a longer ride and more profitable time. Make sure you are aware of the real value that you're offering to your customers. the personal benefits, the service benefits, the cost. What is the real value of your customer? Examine yourself so that when you're talking with the customer, you can share with them the real values that you're bringing, and that will be a really good presentation to get their attention and move forward. Is your product quality good? And if not, what can you do about it? Know whether it's the best price in the market. Know if it's the best quality in the market. And then do what you have to do to sell it or replace it. But be aware of these truth factors that sometimes people just won't face the real facts that are coming along. Remember, we talked about targeted audiences before. Now, tonight, one of the last things here in my program I'm bringing to you is start thinking about, have I got targeted marketing groups that I'm aiming my marketing to? Am I spending my time with the best potential customers I have, or just trying to be all things to all people? That doesn't work usually and makes us waste a lot of money. What does your customer want? What do they want? And what does your customer need? But they want preparation, simplicity, creativity, loyalty, accessibility, and accountability. That's kind of what they want from people they're buying from. And are you answering up to all these? How's your selling skills? I ask the question all the time through the years when I'm training salespeople. Are you going to be a salesperson, a professional selling person, or are you just going to be an order taker? And if your pricing process is take it or leave it, then you're an order taker. You're not trying to use the negotiating skills of selling to enhance your profitability. So if that's the game that you're in, accept it. But I want to tell you, if you can move up to negotiating and raising those advertised prices so you'll have a chance to make more margins and more profits in the end with good negotiating and deal closing and marketing techniques, you'll make a lot more money. There's no doubt about it. Take it or leave it means cheap and less profit. Back to the first slide. It's all about being aware, playing on these awareness factors. Now, hopefully you do have some flagman out there that's giving you a warning that, hey, maybe I need to slow down and consider this turning point or this learning point or this earning point. I want to tell you that good times are ahead. This is an awareness factor. The election was over yesterday. Whether your candidate lost or won or you had a mix, I want to tell you, it is a good day in America when 51% of the people are happy. No matter which party you were with, you always want to keep your politics out of your business and know that right now is one of the best times in America's economy in a long time that everyone is, most of the people are happy and the interest rates are coming down. Get in the game. It's a good time to get in the game and get out there and do your thing. Have you got a business plan? You hired your first employee? You got some training going on? Are you looking for a mentor? There's a lot we can do getting in the game. There's fantastic doors of opportunity being opened up. Have you met someone that might be a great introduction to something new for you? Maybe you've got an opportunity to receive some capital to expand your business. Get in the game. Long, hard hours will pay off with steady streams of income if you've got your efforts going in the right direction. You'll know one day, and I'm so gratified to have had, I guess, over 100 folks now to attend my classes. They have actually had their grand openings during the course when they were here and started the businesses when they saw ideas turn into a business. That is so wonderful and so gratifying for you, and I want you all to be able to see that. Being aware of the turning points makes a big difference. Your dreams can come true. Product quality has a lot to do with everything. Targeting marketing customer relations, paying close attention to what the shopper's needs and trying to be there for them. Having the selling skills that you need, even with the very best products. If you don't have the selling skills, there's not income to come your way. So let's work on those skills. And part of what we're going to be doing in the next 4 weeks plays right into that. Remember how important diversification of your products are. Having things people want, things people need, big deals. Forecasting the peaks and valleys. Now, I just shared with you my unofficial forecast for the next, say, 6 months. I think we're moving out of a valley and up to some peaks with a lot more sales, a good economy, and people feeling good and spending money. The election helped move them along. The interest rate changes today helps move them along. And the holiday buying season is here. Tune in your radar and see how you can take advantage of that. That's exactly what I want to do and work to it. The worry clouds need to get out of your way. They need to get out of the way. We want bright, sunny skies. Even though winter's coming, we appreciate the pretty days. We talk that up with our customers and just appreciate how good things can be when we indeed have a good plan. Developing that golden goose marketing campaign. That golden goose marketing campaign will really help you. And if you'd like for me to send you the details on that, or even the seminar that I do, I'll send you the video and the handouts for it, and then you can pick it up in person in January. I'll be glad to do that for you. All you have to do is ask for it. Keep your eyes wide open, your brain in recognition mode, and all your radar senses on. Find those turning points in time and stay awake and stay alert. And by golly, it is a critical time, all the time, for turning points. The word is overused a whole lot, but it is a big word for entrepreneurs. So it can change everything that's going on in your life. There will be bumpy roads ahead. There's always bumpy roads. And the more we travel and the more we work, we'll find more bumps in the road. But that doesn't mean we can't keep rolling on. At the end of the day, being aware and having our risk management tools in place, you'll be just fine. The little bumps in the road are not going to stop you. But if you've just got one product line, if you just got one profit center, that's a bump in the road that's got to change. Because one profit center will put you out of business. Not being properly funded will put you out of business. Not having a business plan and a marketing plan will put you out of business. It's not to say that they don't help keep you in business. I'm warning you that eventually they will put you out of business till it hurts. So remember, look yourself in the mirror. Remind yourself that you can back off. You got options. You can just turn loose. You got options. Or you can start pushing forward, be grateful, hold on tight, hold on to your values, talk with trusted soul friends, and plan your own empowerment. 2 hours later, right back to the same sentence. Plan your own empowerment, and by golly, things will be a lot better. Let's bring it in for a landing. All this could create miracles or a mess, and it can be scary, but it will do you good to go after your growth, your employment, service, delivery, and freedom by watching these pivotal points, and it will help you make the right moves at the right time. Hold on and endure. Change anything and everything now. Study it carefully. Develop a plan. You got options. I like to encourage you to take the time to study it carefully and then develop a plan. Don't panic. When we're being the best person you can be, you're going to be the best business person you can be. So as the days are getting shorter and we got more darkness, let me encourage you to light your goodness candle so that it shines for everyone to see. Not only how to find you in business, but as an individual, and to share the warmth and the glory that you've got within you. And God bless you, and bless all your family, and God bless your business too. So thank you all. It was good to meet several of you tonight. I hope that you enjoyed the presentation. This is just a warm-up for some detailed work that we're going to be doing in the next 4 weeks, and I hope you'll come back and join us then. So thank you so much. turn your mics on, and I'd like to hear from you if you have anything you'd like to share.
I just wanted to say thank you very much, and I really appreciate what you shared with us on today. It's been a great help, and quite a bit I can apply immediately, even though I'm not quite ready for self, but just the attitude, very encouraging.
And we all need to be reminded of that, no matter how long we've been around or in business. Now, tonight's session was a lot of talk. Our next sessions, especially the next three, are going to be give and takes with exercises where we'll be having a lot of fun working through challenges, situations, and problems. So I hope you'll come. And if you have friends that would like to join us, please encourage them to come as well.
I will be traveling on the 14th. So will it be, recorded so I can request it, or?
Sure.
Okay, very good.
I'll do everything possible to make sure you get the information you need. And glad to do it. Okay, Paige, thank you again for being with us. And David, I hope y'all have a real good weekends, and look forward to seeing you next week.
Thanks, Dave.
All right.
Thank you. Take care.
You're so welcome. God bless you. We'll see you next time.